Peace, happy new moon. We are 5 days into the month, so it is an excellent time to plant leafy greens for transplanting, for planting grains and things like that. We are in the sign of Gemini right now, so Gemini is an air sign. Air signs are excellent for flowers. So I'm planting some flowers today. I have some borage here and zinnias. So I'm going to be sowing these into some biodegradable pots. Zinnias are great. They're like deer resistant. The borage as well. Nothing really eats either of these, and they're both edible for us. Borage is great medicine. The leaves can be eaten, the younger leaves. The whole plant can be dried and tinctured for making a potion for depression, from severe melancholy, like for getting over a deep trauma. Borage is good for that. And zinnias are just really pretty. You can put them in your salad, and the blooms last a really long time as well. So they'll add some color to your landscape, and you can cut them, and the more you cut them, the bigger they grow, and they dry really well, and they look pretty well when dried. So I'm going to be growing these two this year, as well as some other things. Like I have some hibiscus seeds I'm going to be sowing that a good friend sent to me. She harvested from her mother's garden in Florida and mailed me some. So really excited to grow those hibiscus out. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to show you how I do my planting. And for my starts for seedlings, for little delicate seedlings like this, I like to use these biodegradable pots filled up with some starting mix. I use Pro Mix starting mix for these pots, and I have them all in a tray. So I have 8, 16, 24 in the tray. So I will do the zinnias and borage in this tray. And then I have a salad box that I have fixed some holes in, and I will do the hibiscus in the salad box. So let's get into it, right? So first I'm gonna load up the salad box with some seed starting mix. You want a seed starting mix that doesn't have too many big chunks in it, or sticks or rocks. Something that doesn't give your seeds a whole lot of work to do as far as emerging out. And even this one, it does have some sticks and things like in here, but it's easy to just take them out from the top. It's fine if they're down below. So I'll be planting the hibiscus in this container. And I don't have a seed pack for the hibiscus, but just judging by the size of the seed, it should do fine planted about a ½ inch, quarter inch to a ½ inch depth. So I'm gonna make some rows. And again, I don't have the seed pack, and I didn't Google it, so I'm not sure how far to space them apart, but it's a very hardy plant, so I'm sure it will do fine with being thinned out later. So I'm gonna take some of these twigs out of here. Alrighty. Drop our seeds in. So I'm spacing them about 1 inch apart, just to make it easy for myself and easy on the roots when I do go to thin them. Oh, drop one. Sorrel is good for blood pressure and cholesterol. You can mix it with other herbs to make a tea or decoction for blood pressure and high cholesterol, like usually ginger, cinnamon, different spices, black pepper. So I'm gonna pinch it close to bury the seeds. I've never grown hibiscus before, I've only seen it, so I'm very excited to grow this variety. It makes beautiful sorrel flowers. Alright, and I'll be right back. I'm going to get some posts to make labels. Let's plant this borage. Borage is a spring plant. It will often self-sow. It makes beautiful periwinkle blue flower and loads of seeds. So I'll drop those seeds in. They'll regrow in the fall or in the spring of the year. So wherever you plant borage, if you let it go to seed, just expect them to come back time and time again. And they can be eaten young. They're best young before they get too prickly. And they have an interesting taste, like a really fresh cucumber kind of taste. You can also cook the greens as well. I've grown borage really well in the north. And I'm planting these about 1/4 of an inch. It says 1/4 to 1/2 inch. I guess I can go a little deeper. So with planting these, I'm kind of just pressing it into the soil and then pushing it down with my finger. So yeah, they grow really well up north in like full sun. But since moving to Georgia and growing them, they don't really do too well in full sun. You know, it gets really hot in the summertime. So they start to kind of dry up, but they never died. Just have to water them a little more. Like, I started growing borage because it's a good companion plant for squash and cucumbers to help repel some of those beetles and aphids. So I always plant my borage near my cucumber or squash or melon patch. You know, I'll plant it around there as a border, as a bordering flower. And the bees, they love to hang out in these flowers. The children like to eat them. They have a nice taste. I've heard people candy them. I've never done that. It seems like a lot of work. But I have made the tincture, and I have gotten great reviews on the effectiveness of the tincture. So I plan to make more tincture this year with these borage. So the borage on one side, I'll put my few seeds back. I did 2 seeds per pot just in case some don't make it up and out. Label that one. Gonna label the hibiscus as well. Now we're gonna get into the zinnias. So all of these, you wanna start close to your last frost or after. Borage, I guess you could start it. Okay, borage, it says to start it 1 to 2 weeks before your average last frost, which I would agree with because, you know, it's one of the early ones that will spring up in the beginning of the season. So, you know, even if you throw some seeds down in the winter, they'll come up in the spring. Now, the zinnias you want to plant 1 to 2 weeks after your last frost. So we're pretty out of the frost danger here in Atlanta, but you know, we are still getting some cold nights, but I do have a cold frame, a little hoop house, you know, so I keep an eye on the weather, and if it's gonna be chilly, I just put the plants in there and cover them up. But these should actually be fine. These should be fine just outside. I don't think they'll need any protection this time of year, by this time of the season. Try to select the seeds that don't look so broken. I'm seeing a lot of seeds that look kind of broken here. So I'm gonna get some more out and try to select the best looking seeds of the bunch. I'm not sure where I left off. Just gonna plant a lot of seeds. So zinnias get really tall from my experience. Yeah, 2 to 3 feet tall. That sounds about right. I feel like they'll climb up to 4 feet tall if you have some good soil and you have them happy. And they tend to get bushy. They can get bushy. You want to space them out. Or plant them with something else that's going to get really big. Actually, I might see about planting these with sunflowers this year, because the zinnias get really big. I planted them with tomatillos a couple years ago, and that was kind of a mess. You know, tomatillos just grow like a big bush as well, and they just get out of control, and the zinnias were out of control, and it was just kind of difficult to even get in there to prune and collect things without getting a full garden gear on, you know, because there could be, the way those tomatillos were growing, I couldn't see the ground, and I always kind of worry about snakes if I can't see the ground. So yeah, definitely space them out. I'm not sure what happened here. Oh. So that is seed sowing, flowers, and a water sign and an air sign. These are zinnia. I have a couple different zinnia varieties, so I'm gonna put a little code here: NLB, Northern Light Blend.